What's up, Dice Crew? Keeping it a Benji, and I'm getting back with y'all. Now, look, I was tuning in to No Jumper, and I was watching Poetik Flakko, Spider Loc, All Money Suspect, Munchie B, and another individual that go by MB3. And they were speaking about 600 and the situation in the Avalons and getting banned and whatnot. And Flacco was definitely holding his own. And I gotta give Flacco his flowers. So I just stopped watching it and I said I'm finna just tune in and watch that with the Dice Crew and react with y'all. So look, I'm gonna keep it a Benji for y'all doing my reaction. Y'all keep it a Benji for me in the comments. If not, don't jump in. And shout out to the Dice Crew. Also, shout out to the sponsors, Yard Down Bullies. I'm gonna have a link in the description so y'all can go over there and see what they got going on. Let's rock.
I pause. Solicit, man. I first want to say, you feel me? I have permission to speak on this because I'm sitting with Suspect. I'm sitting with Spider Loc the OG, with Munchie B, and with MB3, right? Mm-hmm. These are all well-respected LA gangs. So because I'm sitting with them, I have the right to speak on this. Indeed. Now, I'm saying this, though.
I ain't a gangster, bro. I'm just a street from here.
I have a problem with this, and here's why. Mm-hmm. You see, I'm not a street nigga, but I know all too well about being thrown under the bus. If you watch the full video, you know that 600 stated, hey, bro, I wasn't even going to speak on this after the homie, right, in Avalon Blue, right, and he confronted 600 about the grid program. They spoke on it, and then Avalon Blue said, yo, what's that big U stuff you be talking about, right? Cool. And then after that now, some other old dude came on, and the old dude said, is that paperwork real? Do you have it? Yeah. And 600 said, of course I do. I can Google it and pull it up. So if y'all's the one who provoked it and instigated the shit coming out, and now you banning him because he provided what y'all actually provide, I feel like that's not right.
At they park, they was doing something.
And I agree with Flacco all the way on that comment. And let's continue.
With different hoods there, and it's like on some peace type shit. You know what I'm saying?
Of course.
But when he come hood to hood, he come in with a different agenda.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? No, not free. And that it's like you can't use nobody turf for a stage play. You know what I mean?
Right.
Now, based off of what Munchie said, he said that you shouldn't be going up to people's hoods and stuff like that and playing games, using people's hoods as a playground, and you got a hidden agenda. You're not really coming on some thorough type of activity. And I feel like that's what Spider Loc was on. And he said it himself.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. All right, I was going to the PJs. The same reason I went to the 60s. The same reason I went to my hood.
Okay.
Right. Because 600 went there, trying to act like so whatever. So I was going.
Okay.
That's just simple shit. We trolling.
Okay.
Now, he said he was trolling. And he went to all those hoods because 600 went to him. So he was trolling. So that mean the moment you pulled up to the PJs, you really wasn't just doing some normal activity. You went to use they hood on some trolling type stuff. Which is why, just speaking on some energy type stuff, that energy tip is probably why it led to Spider Loc having a problem with his homie. Just think about that. You know what I mean? Because he was doing something that wasn't really genuine and it wasn't really, authentic.
In the Avenue Blue. That's it.
No,
Avalon Blue. He was breaking it down like, you know what I'm saying? Because a couple of them Avalon dudes, they're part of the grid thing. You and I ain't no snitch.
Of course.
So he tell them how it go or whatever. And 600 sound like he was hearing them out. But, people, you can't use nobody hoods for props and shit. You know what I'm saying?
No, true though. But if they ask you for it though.
That's how it came up, because Blue do grid work for his hood, and he you try to say grid workers all
that. Yeah. And then after that though, Blue.
Man, at the end of the day, didn't nobody have to participate with getting in front of that camera. We talking about a gang of people that's grown, got their own mind. They ain't even have to get on no camera with none of that stuff.
Say, yo, what's that big U stuff you was talking about? And then the other old head came and asked for the paperwork to see the paperwork.
But see, the thing is, once you read what you got, that's not no paperwork.
Okay.
So now you came over here in our section. Mm-hmm. We got a report with the G. That's what the East Side Avalon Blue probably thinking. We got a report with the West Side, homie.
We ain't got no smut on him. I gave you opportunity to present whatever you had to present, and it's bunk is.
Okay.
This is something the police claim that Big U, David Austin said.
Okay.
We don't give a what the police said I said.
Okay.
You cannot verify that he said that. When he got the opportunity to give an actual statement, he turned it down. 600 read that at the same time.
Yeah.
So once you come over here and try to present some shit that ain't none of our business at a peace rally,
But then why ask for it though if it ain't your
it was
business?
the
Now, Flakko got a point right there. If it's not your business, why would you ask for it? You know what I mean? Because 600 precisely said, I didn't come here to talk about none of that stuff. But if that's what you want to talk about, we could talk about it. You feel me? And also, just because you find out that the paperwork is wrong and it's not true, I don't feel like you should try to go about it the way that they went about it. Like, they should have spoke on it in a different way. They should have been saying that, because they not really defending it. Like, they're not coming out saying that, oh, the paperwork is wrong. They're not saying, like, you know, you a foul dude, you throwing jackets on Big U, and you ain't, you know, they not even saying that about him. But what Spider Loc said is true. You know, you can't take what a police said as a form of somebody doing snitching or whatever the case may be. Police could say anything in their report. That's not really qualified as paperwork. You know what I'm saying?
full progression of the conversation when you what the police said I said.
Okay.
You cannot verify that he said that. When he got the opportunity to give an actual statement, he turned it down. 600 read that at the same time.
Yeah.
So once you come over here and try to present some shit that ain't none of our business at a peace rally,
But then why ask for it though if it ain't your
it was
business?
the natural progression of the conversation when you come addressing the grid.
Mm-hmm.
So we have grid interests over here.
Yeah.
And we know you've been bringing a Big U name associated with grid, so it probably was just a natural.
But see, this the thing. The grid conversation, I feel like, 600 want to give Avalon Blue the platform to try to explain that. They can have a small debate, express how each of those individuals feel about that grid program, meaning Avalon Blue and 600. But when it came to the Big U stuff, 600 said, do you want me to turn the camera off? They said, nah. So they was more at fault than 600. And mind you, 600 said, I didn't come here to talk about none of that.
Progression in that, just to bring that up.
Of course.
So now when you brought it and what you presenting ain't got no merit, get the fuck up out of here. Go somewhere with that.
Well, sure, okay, so I understand that though. But when you say, hey man, like you brought that messiness over to us, no, bro. You asked for the messiness.
Shout out to Flakko. He absolutely right.
Right? Right? Like, that's not right. That's
It
fucked
would have
up.
never happened if he didn't go though.
Hmm?
It would never happen if 600 didn't go though.
Was him document?
Now, All Money Suspect is just trying to jump on the bandwagon for the most part. You know what I mean? Because that ain't got nothing to do with nothing. 600 gave them people 4 times. He was like, y'all want to talk about this? Y'all can, but that ain't what I want to talk about. He said, y'all want to turn the camera off? They was like, no, I'll keep the camera rolling. And, Cartoon had already warned them about 600, and they was already aware. And they chose to let him come to the park anyway. So whatever Almighty Suspect is talking about, he's probably pressured up because he's sitting in the room with people that's anti-600.
This ever presented? Did he ever come with
He
some type
Googled
of
some shit.
paperwork?
He Googled some shit that was nothing, bro.
Right?
So it's like a false allegation,
Yes.
right? Yeah.
The police supposed to said that Big U said something, and then when he came to court, it was proven that it was never said because he didn't waive his Miranda rights. He, you know what I'm saying? I don't want to
And
talk.
Big U has actually filed a grievance and filed a motion against the officer for lying on him with the extra step to make sure he can unveil and unravel the fact that I never made that statement. So he didn't just take it on the chin either.
No, sure, right? But though, don't y'all have an issue though with, again, I know that y'all probably have y'all like opinion of 600 though, right?
Mm-hmm.
But don't y'all have an issue with what feels like, hey, bro, like you was curious about something.
Not at all.
I delivered on something.
Not at all.
It backfired.
Not at all.
And now you're throwing me under the bus
Not
to stay in if right like.
I wish they would have kept him there a little longer and figured it out and let something worse happen to him. Go ahead.
I think they apologizing because they saw the town, they gangsta Crips, bro, and that's neighborhood business.
Of course.
So he's like, that's their
common
business,
respect.
really though. But at the same time, once it's on the internet, you open the door for everybody to talk about it though. So that's like that go both ways.
But if you can't,
I mean, Munchie is absolutely right. You know, anything that's public information or put out in the public eye on the platform, whatever, everybody gonna have a jab at it and got the right to speak on it. Now, I'm not saying you have to speak on everything, but it's out there and you can't unseen it or unheard it. You know what I'm saying? If I'm saying that correctly.
go to your section and crack open no paperwork in front of the Crips. You ain't got no business cracking it open in front of nowhere, bro.
But they asking for it, though.
And that's another thing they said. If you're not good in your hood, don't come to ours. And that's what I heard from the dude from Atlantic Drive.
Yeah.
Then I heard then
the Park Villages, the
what
PJ,
yeah.
Yep.
From PJ, they saying like if you ain't good, handle your candle over there before you come trying to parlay in somebody else shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yo, okay. So then, do you think that they found out any new information about 600 status in the 60s?
No,
And shout out to Flakko for keeping it a Benji. We spoke on that in other videos, and he's absolutely right. They was warned by Cartoon, and 600 been running that campaign. He been running for probably over a year, man. Anybody who knows who 600 is, you got to know all this stuff that go with him. 8 out of 10. That's just my opinion, though. I can't say what anybody really knows, but I'm strongly feeling like people had to know what come with 600. Especially, your homie word mean a lot. And what I mean by your homie word meaning a lot is Cartoon. If your homie, one of your G homies, express to you some real stuff, you know what I'm saying? You got to really take that in high consideration. You don't just push that to the side unless you got a hidden agenda on what you trying to capitalize on.
It was just the way he was moving, to be honest.
Huh?
You know what I mean? Real street niggas gonna see, like, if something ain't right in this situation. I think he got around and he came, like Munchie said, came with a different type of agenda, a different type of energy. You know what I mean? If you out here for some peace and got all the family out here and everything, his kids out here, and you coming talking about something that don't make no sense, like, what is you doing?
No, sure. Hey, okay, sure, right. But if they say,
But you do gotta know, bro. When a nigga if I'm a part of some shit where I'm trying to give back to my community, and I look up on the internet that you saying niggas who are part of this shit to snitch, I'm probably gonna say something when you come.
Yeah, you involved in what I got going on.
You know what I'm saying?
You jeopardizing.
yes. Wait, okay, so yes, right. But if they say, if you're not good in your hood, don't come to our hood, well, they ain't find out no new information, right? Like, it's the same shit that's been going on, and they still accepted him in their hood.
We don't know that.
Yeah.
We don't know that because these niggas might not even be so involved in everything that 600 got going on, but they'll find out right at that moment because he there.
Hey, Flakko, bro, it seemed like the plotting and thinking. You seeing everything unfold on the internet, and then you got Spider go over there, and he over there with your homies calling you out, and they saying he got hood issues. So people like, oh, it's real. They probably thinking like, you know what I'm saying, at first, because he talking like he got a team of 60s that rock with him also.
Aren't you interested in seeing what 60s are accompanying him ever? Why he never having 3 buddies with him?
I ain't interested.
No, not you. I'm talking to Flakko.
Okay, listen. I'm not saying that he's good or not good. I'm just saying, right, that regardless of our opinion on 600, there's something to be said, bruh, is when somebody like legit says, yo, what's up with that, big U stuff you be talking about? And then somebody else said, yo, do you have the paperwork? And he said, yeah, of course. And pull it up.
You missing something.
And that's one reason why I wanted to give Flakko his flowers. Because he's sitting in the room with 4 other individuals who pretty much is on one side of the fence with the topic. And he's not choosing to be a bandwagon, to jump on the bandwagon. He's choosing to use his own mind and to do some real thinking. And he's pointing out all the mishaps and the mistakes or the choices in the situation. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not saying that, if 600 pulled out some paperwork, that's a police report type stuff, and it ain't really no real paperwork, then yeah, he's not even aware or not knowing how to deliver the right type of information if he wants to really prove that somebody's a snitch. So yeah, that's a mistake on his behalf. But everybody else got to be held accountable too. You know what I'm saying? For requesting this, for bypassing the warning, for choosing to put clout over conduct instead of pushing, keeping everything in the street and off the camera. It was so many choices made in that situation that we didn't even have to really know that it existed if we gonna keep it all the way 100.
Bro,
The second old dude, after 600 read that shit, said, oh, that ain't your paperwork. The second dude thought he was reading his own paperwork. He didn't even know what was going on.
Sure enough.
But you keep bringing him up like he...
But
he
still asked for paperwork, though.
He thought it was 600's own paperwork. You don't remember after he finished that?
Yeah, true though, right?
Yeah.
No, true, right? But for them to say, okay, so they invited him over there.
Not them particular people, individuals.
And
Somebody
he said
from
the ex-con,
somebody
right?
else.
Somebody...
Now, didn't nobody from Avalon invite 600, but what had happened was 600 ran it through the channels, which was Cartoon, and Cartoon talked to his homies, and he was able to see if it was okay or not, and they was like, yeah, it's cool, and they got back with Cartoon, and Cartoon got back with 600, and that's how it was able to be 100% approved. The invite didn't come from no Avalons, but it did get approved by Avalon. You know what I'm saying? You gotta go watch what Cartoon had to say.
From Compton.
Yeah.
So, an average regular Crip is cool. The homie on his way, call me, where you going? I'm going to South Park, cuz. Compton Crip, pull up. I can come.
Yeah.
But when you a goof troop, that invitation is not going to be that thorough. You ain't no telling what's going to happen.
But wait though, and he called Cartoon first, and Cartoon called his homies. They feel me,
And
right?
Cartoon said, don't go.
And the homies said, hey, bro, we don't care. Let him come. And Cartoon gave 600 to go ahead, right? So don't say, if you're not good in your hood, don't come to ours, where y'all knew everything beforehand. You feel me? Yeah. Cartoon warned him about it, though. Cartoon warned him about it.
On the east side, don't none of that shit matter. That nigga come up stinking. And all that shit
But
that
look,
you think is right or wrong.
But SPR, like, you really got to think of it like, because I really don't I really don't care. It's none of my business. I don't pay too much money, 600, He just popped up, and then, so, like, but when I see certain people speaking out on the situation, it make you looking, because Compton Rick Rock, shout out to Compton Rick Rock, jumped up there, and he's somebody that I know that's going to stand on something. He ain't about to just be making no statements. He like, man, look, you not wanted in Compton.
Wow, I didn't. Rick Rock said that?
Rick Rock made a whole statement. Yeah, Rick Rock was like,
Hold on, he said the whole city?
Rick Rock was like,
Hold on, he said the whole city?
Rick Rock was like, you ain't about to come, because I guess it's something over the YBN, the mirror chain.
The chain.
And he went to the Park Villages.
Yeah.
But I see what he's saying. You instigating shit.
Yeah.
He was like, I'm not with the bullying and all this shit and all that. And he was like, you not wanted in this city no more.
That's deep. I didn't know Rick Rock
So
got
I'm like, damn.
that.
And then that's what got my attention on 600 stuff. Like, damn.
I mean, what Compton Rick Rock really said was he just cutting 600 off. He didn't say he wasn't welcome in Compton or he was banned in Compton. He just really said that he's cutting his ties with 600. And also, I really find it kind of strange that he chose to make it a PSA. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think, maybe he fell under some type of pressure. Maybe he got some type of angles he working. I don't know what it was. But to me, it's like, I don't know how big of a situation would have to be for you to get on a public platform and tell somebody how you cutting ties with somebody. You know what I'm saying? When it's just like, a person just like 100 other people know a person. It's not like, you got a deal with Nike or something like that, and you telling everybody that you not rocking with Nike no more, or whatever the case may be. It's just a situation that everybody could have watched and seen it. You know what I mean? Or if someone asked you about it, then you could have just said what you had to say. But me personally, I don't think anybody was trying to hold Compton Rick Rock accountable for any of those things that 600 was participating in. That's just me. However, Compton Rick Rock is entitled to go about things however he feels suits him, and if he feel like that's what he wanted to do to be, you know, in the space he want to be in at his time in life, then that's him. You know what I mean? But I feel like, you know, we got to see what happens in the future at the end of the day. But I don't think anybody can just really ban anybody. You know, it would take a whole lot of people, and it might even take a lot of violence. That's just my opinion.
Rick Rock saying that.
I remember Rick Rock sat him down at the beach and tried to have a real, like, heart-to-heart, man, conversation with him some money.
And I had caught that too. You know, Rick Rock was definitely trying to give him some good point of views and all that. And 600 definitely wasn't trying to hear it.
It's back.
Yeah.
But now to hear him say
YouTube
that.
or Instagram?
Yeah, let me see.
Look, Flakko, you gotta realize too, right? When some
Check
niggas
both
got a
of 'em.
relationship with a nigga, or they fuck with a certain nigga, and you say you got paperwork on them, a nigga hear you out. But once if they feel like it's bunk or they feel like it's not valid, the nigga gonna be like, all right, we heard you out. Nah, don't bring your ass up over here no more.
But see, the thing is you knew what you was looking at and you knew what you was listening to at that moment. So at that very moment, that's when you were supposed to address that and call a strike a strike and a ball. That's just how I look at it. You know what I mean? You shouldn't have to, because just think about what Avalon Blue said, right? He never not once said that paperwork you showed us was wrong to me, and I know what paperwork is. That wasn't that. You know, they never said any of that. But he did say that word on the street is Big U is appealing that stuff you showed us. So handle your stuff, homie. So he's really just saying that Big U is not agreeing with it. You know what I mean? Which is he's still speaking on behalf of somebody else's influence. He's not necessarily saying like, homie, I watched what I watched and I read what I read, and you know, you out of line and don't you ever play with me ever again. It's kind of like the DW Flame approach when he felt like Big Sad was playing with his intelligence and playing with his cripping by coming up there bringing some type of paperwork that wasn't no real paperwork or something like that. And you know, y'all all heard how DW Flame responded. So that's what should have took place to me at that moment. Call it out how you call it out, unless you just, you know, because they was looking at it at the end of the day. They chose to look at it, you know. Unlike, you know, I seen DW Flame and them, they wasn't even really trying to look at it. You know what I mean? They just was taking his word for it. Then later on, I think they dove into it. But when they doubled back, they definitely called out that the paperwork was bogus that he was trying to give them to listen to. And that's the same approach they should have had. You know, Avalon Blue, he should have just been like, yo, you out of line, don't come back because you brought some paperwork that wasn't right. That's not a stand-up dude, which is not. And call it, you know, call it for what it is. Not just be saying like, yo, Big U said he's appealing that. That's the word on the streets. So it sounds like, I think to me, people just would rather be in a good space with Big U over being in a good space with 600. You know what I'm saying? That's just how I look at it. And, you know, people is entitled to being who they are and who they want to rock with. That's their choice at the end of the day. I'm not saying it's wrong or right, but I'm just pointing out certain key factors of this situation.
I think that's simple, nigga.
Yeah, you get a due process.
You know what I'm saying? You get a due process still. Like, this my man's, but I'm going to hear you out because it's snitching, nigga. These is real allegations, so I hear you out. But if I'm not saying it's real, it's not real, I don't know. But if a nigga say it's not real, you know what I'm saying? Then